Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Cooking with Hayden Ingersoll. And, it's, one season so far, one episode. I think that's all it will ever be, but, anyways, today we are going to be cooking up some delicious Kraft macaroni and cheese, an American classic, as well as one of my personal favorites. Alright, so I'm sure that many of you want to just get straight into cooking like one of those fancy cooking videos you see on the internet, but they always seem to make one mistake, and that's that they don't have an ingredients list. What the heck? So that is not a mistake that I'm going to make. Okay, so to make traditional Kraft macaroni and cheese, here are the ingredients you will need. So what's nice is that the majority of these ingredients are included in the box. So we have the macaroni noodles right here. We got the cheese sauce mix in the packet. You can use water or milk, I've seen actually. Milk tends to work better, make it a little more creamy. As well as butter. Butter I like to add to my recipe, which is not quite as common, but it's still pretty common in many macaroni and cheese recipes. It gives it a little better of texture. Anyways, it's important to know where your food comes from. Therefore, a little bit of a history lecture is required. Okay, so let's start with the macaroni noodles. So, it is theorized that macaroni originated from Rome, Greece, or Arabia, but it actually originated in Sicily, Italy, when right around the 1500s, when they started making or cutting these noodles into smaller pieces. At the time, noodles were about 3 times as expensive as any other breads you would get. So it was more of a high-class treat at this time. Now, as for the cheese, legend has it that an Arabian trader traveling through a barren desert in the boiling heat just so happened to find some cheese and brie in his animal sack. So what happened is he was traveling through the desert with this animal sack, and basically an animal sack is a sack made from animal skin, usually bovines or whatnot. Anyways, so what happened is, as he was traveling through this desert in the boiling heat, the milk in his sack that he was carrying just so happened to have strained, and the curd separated from the brie, and starved and thirsty, this Arabian traveler opened his sack, just so happened to see the cheese and brie in there. And so he ate the cheese and drank the brie, and his hunger was gone and his thirst was gone. And as it turned out, it was quite delicious. A little sour, a little salty, but you know, who cares? Now, of course, this is only a legend, and real evidence of cheese dates back to, what was it? 5,500 BC in Kujawa, Poland. It's a long time ago. Now, they don't really know how they discovered it, but they did find evidence of cheese molecules in the strainers, of the milk molecules in these strainers. And so it's suspected that this was the place of origin for cheese. Okay, so today I don't have any milk with me, but what I do have is this. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Anyways, so milk dates back to about 9,000 to 7,000 BC in early Mesopotamia. and about 3500 BC in the Americas. Now back then, milk was a drink only for high-class people. It wasn't until later that they started consuming it in different recipes, different foods, one of them including mac and cheese. Alright, so it looks like you're going to be staring at the microwave for today, but, well, you have a full view of the pot, so just take a moment to relax while I fill this thing with 6 cups of water. Alright, so, the next thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you bring your water to a boil. Alright, so, now we've brought our water to a boil. Just here in the next 10 to 20 seconds. So, now what we do is we add in the macaroni and noodles. Alright, well, now that my water's at a boil, I'm going to turn down the heat of just a tad bit and pour in my macaroni noodles. Delicious! Alright, so now we gotta make sure that these noodles are all mixed up, getting the same amount of cooking in the water. They're all soaking up the water right now. We can turn down the heat a bit more so that it doesn't bubble over. Just keep it stirring. Calm down those bubbles so that it doesn't overflow. Alright, so you're going to want to cook these for about 7 to 8 minutes. Alright, so we're a couple of minutes into this, and just check on it every few minutes. Make sure not to fall asleep while you're doing this. Just make sure you don't have to wait the full 7 to 8 minutes. If they're tender beforehand, then you can go ahead and start straining. Alright, so now we can add these strained noodles back into the pan and get ready to add. Oh, by the way, make sure your fryer is turned on low. Your burner is turned on low. Get ready to add the water or milk. I'm using water this time. Not going to be quite as creamy, but I'm sure still just as delicious. Alright, so we got our 1/4 cup of water right here. We can now add the delicious cheese. There we go. And of course, use as much of the ingredients as you need to your liking. Kraft macaroni and cheese makes it very simple that way, in which you can add to the recipe. Sometimes we add sausage to it, and then we can add butter. Go, just a little bit of butter right there. You don't have to have too much. Sometimes some people like a lot of butter in their macaroni and cheese recipes, but it's not needed. Alright, well, that's it. It's now ready to serve. Alright, well, that's it. Now we got a delicious bowl of Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Hayden Ingersoll.